Yo. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. To see how this audio is rocking. The mic sounds good. The mic sounds right. Yo. How does that sound? How do we sounding out there? Little 900. Peace, God. See this. Move this out my face a little bit. Yo. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's see. Make that up like this. Yo. Just adjusting the mic. Get that right. Here we go. Like that. That's cool. Let's go live right here. Shout out to everybody. That's how about we do the proper introduction? Peace to the respectfully greats. I hope everybody out there is doing well. We are live right now on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, StreamYard, and about to be on TikTok as well. So that's what we're doing right now. Today we have a wonderful episode scheduled for today. And I'm super pumped, super ecstatic, and I can't wait for everybody to indulge and us to have great dialogue. So let me get fully acclimated on TikTok to make the other streaming platform go up. Let's see. Go live. So we are live 3, 2, 1 on TikTok. So now we are officially live on TikTok. Let's double check Facebook really quick. I think it's a necessary thing that we do just to make sure that we are tapped in. Just to make sure that we are tapped in. So let's double check. Yes, we are live on Facebook as well. Let's go. I'm open. First and foremost, I'm super blessed. I love to highlight these things because it's important to me to wake up every day with immense amount of gratitude. So I tend to do this often. Every day I find ways to give praise. I find ways to connect with oneself because it's very important in the world that we live in. There's so many things that are zapping our energy, taking us away from our purpose. We're supposed to be purpose-driven individuals, and a lot of times our energy get zapped because of the frequencies and energies that's going on out in the real world. So I really love to highlight how much we need to be in tune with oneself, always giving praise to the Most High, connecting to your sources of giving you the best outlook in life, and just be able to embody the correct mindsets to allow you to move forward throughout your life, right? So that's one of the things that I needed to highlight or pretty much get off my chest uh, at the beginning of our episodes because it's important that we all know our value and our worth. And I like to start off with setting the temperament in our audience and our chat with our loved ones to be really open and mindful of how appreciated you are and how valued you are. And we can do that by just breaking bread, breaking ice, connecting, being synchronized by the hip, or even just sharing our thoughts with the right frequency. I think that's very important. So that's pretty much what we're going to be tapping in. Although that was the intro, we are really going to be tapping into the same frequency about how we connect and disconnect into frequencies and how we going to be able to zap into these things or figure out where's our frequency at, where's our energy at, who is tapped into our energy, or what energy are you tapped into. So it's gonna be a wonderful episode today. Yes, great episode. Let's start off with just how you feeling out there today. In the chat, just let me know. Let me know how you feeling. Let me know how you doing today. How was your day? Was it progressive? Was it a learning one? Did you find anything new about yourself? Did you discover anything new? Did you refine your purpose during the process? Have you developed a skill? Have you enhanced your skill? Have you challenged yourself? Have you done some of these things? Or if you haven't done any of it, if you haven't done any of it, and you just say, you know what, today was just a chill, relaxed day. It was a mental health day, or it was a kickback day. It was a day that I'm just doing nothing on purpose. Go check out that episode on Respectfully Great Instagram, YouTube platform, which is doing nothing on purpose, as well as tapping into the rest of the episodes that we have on our platform and the rest of the great content. Today we are actually tapping into our 34th episode. Let's get a round of applause for our 34th episode. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man. I'm pumped. I'm feeling good, man. How was your spirits? How are you doing today? If you're doing good, just give me some thumbs up, some in the chat. Give me some thumbs up, something in the chat. Fire emojis. Good. You can write the word good. You put a G for good, whatever it is, to let me know that you're in the building with us in real time. I think it's oh yeah, yeah. Let me start off with this as well. Last week, I had a loving mother of mine, and we had some discrepancy about some of the ingredients that we all utilize in our lives. I was talking about combinations we put together, and I ended up mentioning something about putting the right ingredients when you're making or preparing meals, sort of like putting together the right combinations in your life. So we had an open discussion, me and my mom's just building, and we were talking about cake. Just so happened my mother had made a cake over the last past few weeks. She's been making cakes, right? She's in a bake bag. She's in her baking bag. So I'm like, okay, Ma doing a one two thing in the kitchen, getting crazy, making the good cakes. So I go to Mama Love crib, chilling. What's up, Ma? She said, "What's up, son?" But the way she said "What's up, son" was kind of like a little edgy. So I'm like, okay, what did your boy do? What did I do? Where did I go wrong? So Mama Love was like, "What's up, son?" I said, "What's up, mom? It's good. You chilling?" She's like, "Yeah. Heard you was talking. Heard you was talking about me." Oh, my beloved is ill. My beloved ill. So she said, "I heard you talking about me." I said, "Mom, what are you talking about? When was I talking about you?" "I heard you talking about my cake. Talking about my cake was dry." I said, "Ma, you are wilding." I said, "What I'm going to do is," she made another cake. The cake was marvelous, like the other ones that she had prepared and made. They were all marvelous. Everybody just engulfed it down. There was no more cake left the day that she made it. And I told her, I said, "Listen, when I get on this live today for this Thursday, I'm going to big Mama Love up and make this a world renowned thing to let everybody know. My mother's cake was delicious. It was so mouth watering. The cake doesn't have any bones. I would say that the cake was dripping off the bone, but the cake was like none other. Mother, you have made the best cake that I ever tasted, and I love you unconditionally. So don't think I was talking about the missing ingredients and I was talking about your cake. I was not talking about your cake. Today I'm talking about your cake on how delicious it was. I had to get that out. Everybody just send Mama Love some love or send some cake emojis in the chat to let Mama Love know that her cake was delicious. Yeah, boy, like pops. Yeah, boy. Shout out to Mama Love. Love you, mother, unconditionally. Yes, yes. We got some cake emojis. That's what I'm talking about. Cake emojis, absolutely. Cake emojis. Oh man, beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. It's nothing like getting out some good humor. It's nothing like laughing. It's nothing like sharing some of those sentiments and being appreciative and joyful, but being able to crack a smile. We know that around the world, we can always find reasons to negate that. We can find reasons to point fingers at things and people and places to that whatever draws us discomfort. And we can do that pretty often. We can find reasons to be negative, and for the simple fact that you are always finding reasons to embrace who you are, embrace your know, your like, your trust, your trusting, right? Being trustworthy, being somebody that's transparent, being somebody that's open, honest, being truthful, embodying whatever your attributes are, whatever you work so hard to accomplish in your life and build and chisel away and develop that character. We know that it's not an easy task constantly developing because there's always reshaping, reforming, learning more things, getting rid of some things that you already previously were taught or learned. It's a constant battle with oneself. And shout out to my brother um Raul with me versus me. I had my brother Brand on earlier, but it made me think about at this very moment, it's always a constant battle with oneself, right? And when you're going through these battles, it gets difficult. And for you to stand 10 toes and stand the test of time and still pushing your message and still going out there and being vulnerable and still applying yourself, although there are things that don't work out in your favor, it's a testament to who you are. And I don't want to lose sight of that. And I don't want you to lose sight of that because there's so many things I want to tear you down, want to take you off your dean, take you off your square, deter you, have you displaced in areas where it doesn't suit you or serve you at the highest level. And we know that our energies are tapped into that. And it's mainly the reason why we came up with this topic today, because we know that there are nothing but frequencies all around us. They say energy can't be created nor destroyed. They say that energy can't be created nor destroyed. So energy always exists. It's always around us. That energy is that frequency. What do we whatever we tapped into? I heard this from they call him Brother Rich from 363 Black Magic on YouTube, right? And I heard this a while ago. There was a guest that was on the show. It's a female. I can't recall her name, but I remember this quote that she had said. And she said that your frequency is what you frequently see. Let me say that one more time. She said that your frequency is what you frequently see. That opened my eyes to a whole new renowned world of discovery. It opened my eyes when I was closed. My eyes were closed. And that day, my eyes were really, really open about understanding that frequency. And hearing that, it made me just think about things. Like, it felt like my life was just flashed before my eyes. And when she said that, your frequency is what you frequently see, meaning that whatever we tend to draw attention to, whatever we pay close attention to, that's where our energy is at. Whatever we choose to put our energy or put our attention towards is where our energy is at. So when we choose to entertain or give away or allow our frequency to be zapped into, there could be things that can add to that or repel or take away from your energy. This is why we have some of the underlying things going on in our lives when we talk about stress, when we talk about trauma, when we talk about hardship, when we talk about overload, when we talk about burnout, when we talk about mental health, when we talk about anything that's dealing with the mind, the body, the spirit. All of these things can be tampered with. And we allow people to zap into these things for the right or the wrong reasons. Sometimes it be unbeknownst to us. We don't really know where we putting our energy at. Sometimes we start putting our energy towards things, people, places, and things, and realize later on, like, I was giving my energy to the wrong people, doing the wrong things, the wrong time. We tend to bottle this up and call displaced energy. We all have energy, right? Because we all know that energy can't be created nor destroyed. But when we have this energy directed in the wrong direction, what happens? Affordable car rentals, what's up, cousin? What happens then when we have this energy of ours and we put it in other people's possessions? We give our energy away, or we allow our energy to be tampered with. What happens to you in your purpose? Things start to seem more confusing. Things start to seem more confusing. I love to give my own caveats. I love to give my own backstories. So let me think of a time where I know I had displaced energy, right? And I make these references all the time. And I like to put this at the forefront so I don't never forget where I come from, right? So I bring up these stories not to forget, but as a reminder where I don't want to be at when I have this displaced energy. There was a point in time in my life. What's up, Quay? What's up, sis? There was a point in time in my life where I wasn't doing the right things, right? I was tapped into the wrong crowds. My attention was on the wrong things. Um, I was with the wrong people, places, and things. I was doing the wrong things, tapped into the wrong crowds, and my psyche, what I was tuned into, I was watching the wrong stuff, and I was embodying these mindsets, these ways of thinking, these ideologies. I was zapped into some frequencies that was causing me more chaos and disorder. It was causing more dysfunction. It was adding to some of that trauma. It was adding to some of that mental health. It was adding to increased debt. It was adding to failed relationships. It was adding more confusion to the person I was looking at in the mirror, to me, displaced. I started to realize some of these things because my life was spinning out of control. You say, hey, you out of control? Very much so. There were things that I was doing that led me into places where it took me away from my family. I've done some things where when I had displaced energy, where I had to go out there in the real world and try to prove a point to people that wasn't in my corner anyway. So I was out there trying to people please the wrong people. So it led me going out there to do things for people that didn't care about me, trying to prove a point, keep up with the Joneses. Let me go out there and blow this amount of money in the club. Let me go and spend this night with X, Y, and Z. Let me go and do these other things just to look good for the people, knowing that financially I'm in a rut, knowing that my relationships are failing, knowing that I don't trust even the person that I'm looking at in the mirror because I'm indecisive. I'm dealing with dysfunction. I'm dealing with so much displacement in my life. There was no order. The last episode, we were talking about combinations, putting together the right combinations for you. I had all the wrong combinations. See, post if you take this in boxing terms, right? Jab, jab, left hook, etc. Putting together these combinations that work. See, I was on the opposite end of that. I was the one that was getting hit. I was getting hit with the left, jab, right hook. All these things were tapping all over my body. Gut shot, face shot, hit me in my neck, hit me in my ribs, my kidney, etc. Because I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared. I was going out in this world and I had the energy knowing that, okay, I know I can do some things, but I was led astray because I wasn't following truth. I was led astray because I wasn't following truth, meaning that things that look good to the eye internally wasn't serving me at the highest level. That relationship that I wanted to, make amends with, all it did was cause me more of the pain and hardship and the trauma. It stirred up that trauma because I remember what that relationship did to me. People, places, and things. They didn't serve me at the highest level. Oh, the financial woes. We forgot about those. No, we didn't forget about those. Oh, when you was in the club bowling, keeping up with the Joneses, and that rent had to be paid, that car note had to be paid, got that repo on that car, got that insurance lapse on that car. Oh, they coming, they looking for hiding the. Oh, I've been there. I walked those roads as well too. So I don't come here to act as if I haven't gone down these roads and being fully transparent. People say, man, you got to be careful for what you share. My thing is that I'm always going to be who I am, and you always got to take. I look at life like you always going to take you, no matter you're always going to take you no matter where you go. Meaning that in life, you always going to have to show up and be who you are, authenticity. My sister Quay said, "Come on, transparency, big Fendi love." My sister Quay said, "Come on, transparency. We talk about these transparency things, and a lot of times we want to act like we don't have a stain on our jacket, like we never got caught in the rain before. I'm Mr. Johnny. Ain't nothing. There's no sweat on my back. I don't sweat out here. Your boy sweated many a times. Your boy failed many a times. But beyond the failures, we know that those things are lessons. We know that it was a trial and error thing. It was a cause and effect thing. And slowly but surely, when I started to direct my energy in the right places, things in my life started to change. There's some things that I'm working on as of right now that I've been working on for years, and I'm almost there. But I did so much damage back then that it took years away from me in my life by not having the cognitive awareness. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't going out in the real world and being fully honest and transparent with me. I wasn't being honest in my relationships. I was doing things that was going against the laws of nature. So I was disobeying the laws of nature and expecting nature to work to my favor. So when I was talking about that energy, why is nothing but negativity stirred up in my pot? Why am I getting negative energy thrown my way? Why do I feel at odds, or why do I feel like I got this, chip on my shoulder where I got to go out there and prove points to be somebody that I'm really not? Why do I got to feel like I can keep up with the Joneses? It's because I wasn't fully honest and transparent with who I am. I wasn't becoming the person that I desire to be. Let me say that again. I wasn't becoming the person that I desired to be. See, a lot of times we call on God, right? Or whoever your um supreme being, supreme deity, the almighty, whoever you deify as that person or deity in your life, that's your savior or your higher power. Or if you don't believe in nothing, that's where you give your power to, and nothing, right? But whatever that is, I was calling upon that in my life, looking for the answers. And I had a realization to say, don't call on me now. What about your disciplines? See, everything that I was getting myself into, it wasn't the higher power that led me down those paths. It was some of the choices I was making because I had free will. See, a lot of time we got free range. We got freedom to go out there and make some decisions in our lives. And then we choose to do the wrong things. And then we call God, why me? Oh no, God gave you opportunity. You just failed. You failed the mission. You chose to do other things. You chose to have displaced energy. And then we all know that life is full of trial and error, cause and effect. But then when we get in troubling times or positions, the first thing we start to do is, God, why me? Why am I the one going through this? I'm such a good person. I learned this too. You could be a good person. Just because you're a good person, that doesn't equal success. Let me say that one more time again. Because I got slapped with realization too. Just because you are a good person, that doesn't mean it equals success. Now, let me, as a caveat, right? Disclaimer. You could look at yourself as a success at all times, because we got to find that value. But people think that, hey, I did a nice gesture and I should be successful, wealthy, healthy, and all that because I held the door for somebody. By all means, you holding a door for somebody is a great gesture. It's a testament to your character. It's a testament to who you're designing yourself to be. You have morale, you have morals, you have principles, and you're obeying them things. I respect that. But that doesn't equate to financial gain. It's that may aid you because you may hold the door for the right person and you might get an alley oop, or it may build you up to land you in a position to where people want to be around you more because you have a lot of courtesy. You somebody that has immense amount of hospitality. You able to communicate well. Those things are attributes that you can add to the whole thing, right? Because we know success is a combination of things. Success is a combination of things, depending on what it is that you want to be successful at. We know that it requires more than one thing. It requires discipline. It requires time. It requires repetition. It requires doing the things that most people don't want to do, because we have a world full of everybody that tapped in to all different levels of frequency. But the one that pops and seeps through and gets through the cracks is the one that's out there actually doing the work and never quitting. We know that there are people out there who have leverage, because we all have leverage. We all have acquired skill sets. We all develop our skill sets one way or another. But that doesn't mean someone else ain't out there doing double the work, or have double the level of discipline, or more financially astute or reserved, or do the right things with their energy and get around the right people, right places, doing the right things. Those are more of the qualities that we need to inhabit and continue to embed in our psyche and act out, meaning being actionary people going out there and doing the thing more often than not to help you shape and mold into the purpose so you can go out there and keep creating, being the person that you desire to be so you can go out there and keep creating, shaping and molding your purpose. So that one thing of holding the door is a great attribute. One attribute that is part of the whole. We can't do one thing and think that the success is going to come to us. And that's something that I had got misconstrued because my whole life I kept banking on me being a good person. I kept banking on my life. Every time I got in a situation, I'm a good person. So I need to have success. I'm a good person. Why am I not successful? Or when I took when I took them steps back and then life was life and I couldn't figure it out. I kept saying, man, God, me calling, right? Why me? I've been a good person. I said I held the door for the old lady. I helped them upstairs with the groceries. I said hello to somebody that I know may not be in favor of me. I'm doing all these things, going against the grain, trying to prove how good of a person I am. But what I was missing out on was the real work, the internal work, the discipline work, directing my energy in the right places, doing the boring work, doing the boring things, applying myself, staying up the late hours, getting up early in the morning, going to the gym, doing all these things, finding my combination of routines, finding the right combinations and steadfast in those things. When I started to do more of those things, so-called, when we talk about the higher power, oh, that's when it started to make more sense. Oh, the opportunities come when you do the work. See, we know that we all connected. We know that there's a higher power out there. But the point that we're missing is that we don't recognize the higher power within oneself. So we sit down and we don't want to do the work and we wondering why our conditions don't change. Where's that energy at? Where's that immense amount of bottled up energy? All of the great attributes that you were gifted with and the leverages that you were gifted with. What are you doing with it? Ha. Einstein says we do the same thing expecting different results. We do the same things, but expecting different results. And we questioning ourselves why life isn't changing for us. What are you changing about self that will open up those other doors for opportunity? See, opportunity don't come knocking on your doorstep when you ain't out there doing the foundational work. You ain't cleaning up your house. You ain't going room to room, sweeping the floor, shaking out the carpet, putting the laundry in, doing the regular maintenance around the house. Make sure that the rodents don't come in, which is all that negative and bad energy. Make sure that we spraying around the house. Make sure our spirit's in the right place, staying away from that type of energy. But when we are open for all that, we keep our doors open at night. Understand that thieves come in at night. So we got all of our windows open. We got all of our doors open, and anybody can come in. We don't understand that there are people out there that are tapping into your energy. And they're playing on you in so many ways that you have no clue. You got people out there that's doing this real work, finding ways to connect with you just to stay next to you long enough so they can snake you. People do these things. There are some people out there that are really, really good for you, but we brush them away because they tell us the truth. They're open and honest with us. And we don't like to hear honesty. We like to be pacified. We like the people to enable us, telling us that we did good. We like the coddling. We like people to say you did good, even though you did bad, you did poorly. We need people around us that tell us, no, we need to shape up and you need some improvement, need to work harder. But we don't like those type of people around us because they're not pacifying. They're not giving us the pacifier. They're not telling us we did a good enough job. I was watching Terrence Crawford, watching my man Bud, and his mother did something to his character. When he was younger, his mother used to go around and all the people that he was competitive with in the sport of boxing, She used to go around tell those other children, "Hey, yo, my son, my son, my you better than my son." And she used to say this in front of her son. Now you better than my son. My son ain't that good. My son ain't that good. And what she was doing is she was stirring up a fire within him to go out there and prove her wrong. And she was doing it to let him know this. I'm just shaping and molding your character. And it was in a way to where it was a healthy way. It wasn't dysfunctional way. She was putting hands, physically abusing them and turning that into something else. But she was doing finding different ways to motivate him. She's finding a way to tap into his psyche with certain levels of energy so it could bring the best out of him. So sometimes we have some of these people around us that push us a little bit harder, but we look at that as a person that's abusing us. Now, disclaimer, you got to find your level of temperament. We got to know each other. We got to know ourselves. We got to have the trusted environment to where people that are around us that love us enough to tell us the truth. Shout out to Gary V. Gary V said, be around people that love you enough to tell you the truth. Transparency. And then now we start seeing different results when people could be open and honest. Hey, how would you think about my live last night? Was it good? You need to work on this. I heard some feedback earlier today. And the first thing I want to do is get that away from me. But then internalizing it, let's be more mindful of these things. Because I know that these people around me love me enough to tell me the truth. So I got to internalize that and say, you know what, if they have my best interests at heart, maybe I need to listen. I still have to have those levels of discernment and decision making and have those same levels of prudence and being wise enough to say, you know what, let me weigh the pros and cons. Let me see what makes sense after the trial and error. And then once I figure out, okay, I did my homework, I did my research. And when I came back to the drawing board with, they were right. Or when I studied the other videos, I missed Q on that. Or I done too much of that. Or I didn't do enough of this. But then I see people around me that love me enough to tell me the truth, point out some of these things. My trusted advisors. We got to build people around us that love us enough to tell us the truth. And a lot of times, oftentimes, we repel these people. We have our doors wide open, the windows wide open. And that means that the rodents, the thieves, the people that want to come in and harm us, we easily accessible. Easily accessible. What I want to do is, I like to interject. I know we going somewhere. We cooking. Let me jump in really quick to give a word from my sponsors. Really, really quick. Hope this is touching base. Hope you are finding some value within it. And if you are, please send some fire emojis. Let me know you're in the building with me on all the platforms: Instagram, StreamYard, YouTube, Facebook, and all of the good stuff. TikTok. I see you, TikTok. Big love out there, TikTok. Message from my sponsors. Be right back. Peace, beloveds. Thank you for tuning in to the Respectfully Great podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Reed, and I appreciate your continuous support. Do you know that over 80% of the people that watch our channel aren't subscribed? By subscribing to our channel, you give us the opportunity to bring on more guests to add more value to our channel. To join our growing community, head over to respectfullygreat.com, sign up for our email list to get exclusive updates on empowering blogs, as well as the latest and greatest in Respectfully Great fashion. Once again, it's nothing but big love, and we value your commitment. Yes, we are back from our word from our sponsors, which is Respectfully Great. Actually, I have some of the attire on right now. You see this all pristine and stylish. This right here, man. This right here, man, is fly. We call this fat, pretty, fly, and tempting. Pretty, fly, and tempting. That's what we call fat right here. You heard? Dope. You go check this out on respectfullygreat.com. You go there, you get your latest and greatest in Respectfully Great fashion. Go tap in. Also, subscribe to our email list, because when you subscribe to our email list, you'll be able to get the blogs. What I'm also going to do in due time, I'm going to put the audio up of our podcast as well on these other platforms, as well as our website. So I'm doing some revamping. We're going to do some things on there to bring some more enlightenment, bring some more intriguing things, some more thought-provoking things, more or less latest and greatest in that fashion. I come with that drip. Boy, be dripped up. Yeah, man, give me the drippiest. You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? Your boy love fashion, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to continue to drive home the narrative with the message, though. So the brand is really geared around being respectfully great, meaning that you embody that mindset that you are respectfully great, and nobody be able to take that away from you. You be able to put on the attire. You can walk like it, feel like it, talk like it, have the mindset of a progressive, thought provoking, um, growing mindset, growth and development, tapping into that hidden potential. There's so many great things that you can do for really, really being tapped in with oneself, and I want to be able to provide um, the platform to do so in all fashions. Meaning that from attire to mindset, I really want to be able to merge the two to where we be able to have a platform to where we can embody all of these school of thoughts and be able to exercise the truth from whatever we come up when we come up with when we find the truth and we keep shaping and remolding our purpose, and we out there can learn and we can actually help and teach one another. I think this is where some of the keys that we missed out on, like in our lives. I know there's some things that I missed out on my life by not having the proper father figures around, by not having the right or following the wrong crowds or doing some of these wrong. If we can help ourselves, help our children, help our future by being able to um show the value within oneself, and how we can teach each other how we can create our value and find it intrinsically. That's the premise. That's the premise. Every day, I know for oneself, and I know the people that I converse with, even all our loved ones that's on here in real time, and people that come in after the fact. If this finds its way to somehow on your computer, your phone, or somewhere it enters into your life, it wasn't for no reason. It's because there are things that are divinely, they call it divine appointments, right? This is what they use, some terminology, when it comes to a school of thought, right? Divine appointments. I feel like every time you come across that missing key or piece of information, divinely made its way to your doorstep. It made its way into your life, and it wasn't for no reason. Everything, nothing happens by happenstance, nothing happens by chance. And I feel like um some of the information that we come across, some of the things that happen in our lives, we look at them things as misfortunes and don't understand that there's a word serendipity, that although there was an occurrence, there was an action that was taken at some point in your life, that action ends up turning out to be something favorable to you in the long run. How powerful is that? There's so many things that I thought were misfortunes in my life that turned out to be so many big blessings because I wasn't aware. I didn't become the person yet to observe it from that perspective. If you made it out of any turbulence at any point in your life and you are here now, shout out to Neff. Neff just calling. Shout out to Neff on the check-in, literally on the check-in. The boy is calling. You heard? um, if you had any misfortune in your life, what I want to reassure you is that if you are here and able to talk about it today, you made it through. And although you may still be dealing with the woes of it, you still may be dealing with some of the levels of trauma, you got through it. You are here today. That means that that's a blessing in its disguise. And you can take that situation, you can take that occurrence, you can take that accident, you can take that moment in time, and you can reframe that. You can dismiss it. You can rewrite how that story played out. You can shift the energy. You can displace, you can put that energy in a different box, in a different place to where it can serve you for a higher purpose. And that's what I want to continuously learn how to do and continuously do and build and find ways that we can do these things. And it's all about the psychology, it's all about perspective. So perspective has to be primarily one of my top three things on my list when it comes to becoming the person that I desire to be in my life. And it's all about how I thought about things. I used to be one of those individuals that, pretty timid behind this mass of a man, right? Timid, pretty scared at times, unwilling to take chances and risk. As risky as I was doing some things that when I had displaced energy, as risky as I was, I still was unwilling to take the risk on my real future. And that's me developing to the person that I desire to be, no matter or despite what other people thought about me. And that's one of the battles that I had to figure out and fight throughout my life of not being not being a people pleaser. Because what comes with that, when you try to please everybody, the only person that ends up not pleased is you. And then now you got to face yourself in that mirror and you got to figure out a way. How do I get happy? How do I tell people no when I don't want to really do things? Or how do I figure out who to do the right things for, or who's willing to go to bat for me, or where should I place my energy? Should I stay up late tonight? Should I hang out all night? Should I go party knowing I got to go to work, or should I do my other work when it comes to my business? When I try to advance at a particular thing, or when I try to learn a particular skill set, um, when it comes to my read, whatever it is that I want to bring into my life, I was afraid at one point in my life because I was thinking too much about what other people thought about me during that process. I really don't want to go out tonight because I really want to do my work for school per se. But then homeboys and homegirls like, yo, come on, man, don't worry about that. And I go follow the crowd. And then when I go follow the crowd, I end up flunking out on my duties and my responsibilities. And I didn't advance in that area where I want growth at. Let me say that one more time. Hope that didn't skip over. The areas where I wanted growth at, I failed because I was following everybody else instead of what was going on inside with me. Because I didn't have enough cojones. Your boy didn't have enough cojones to go out there and be the person I wanted to be. And it cost me. It cost me time, even though I learned from it. But I, you could always talk about what you could have done. But I know that at this point in my life, I don't want to harp on the things that I woulda, shoulda, coulda when the opportunity is now. Every day, every moment, you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to bottle up that frequency of what you tapped into, that energy of what you tapped into. You don't want to get that got autonomy over that unless you just give it away to other people and other things. Vices, gambling, drinking, hanging out with this, being promiscuous, doing this, whatever your vice is, whatever you neglect. See, anything that you don't do that's leaning towards your purpose, you're neglecting the purpose. Anything that you're doing other than following purpose, you're neglecting purpose. So if things that you're doing day in and day out are not geared towards you getting to that next level of your life, it's a distraction. And I didn't learn that. Steve Jobs called it signal to ratio, meaning that in his life, he primarily focused on purpose 80% of the time. 80% of his life was geared around purpose, doing the thing no matter what other people thought about him. Kevin O'Leary, the guy on Shark Tank, used to work right under him. He used to do all his courses. Used to design all his courses. Used to come with so many innovative things when it came to the internet, and introduce them to a lot of other things that they worked on together, right? And he said that this man's signal to ratio was so high. He said most people are signal to ratio is about 60-40, meaning that 60% of the time people are distracted. 40% of the time people are focused on whatever it is that they need to be focused on. He said Steve Jobs was 80% signal, which is focused, and 20% non-focused. And his non-focus was really just tapping in with family members, friends, going to a dinner or something like that. Majority of the time, he just kept reshaping and remolding and refining his purpose. So what I'm saying is that we constantly asking ourselves, I want more in my life. I want to do more. I need more. I want to experience more. I want to go travel the world. I want to go help some other people. I want to have high levels of empathy. I want to have service. I want to be somebody of high service, of servitude. I want to go out there and lend my hand and be able to help with my hands or do whatever I can to make somebody else's life better. We say we want these things, but where's our signal to ratio at? Signal to noise, signal to noise. That's the terminology, signal to noise ratio, meaning that signal is focus and noise is the distraction. Where's our signal to noise ratio at? How many things are you being distracted by? Is it the TV? Is it the phone? Is it what the neighbors are doing? Is it with the co-workers are doing their business at work? Is it worrying about what your family doing or they ain't doing? Is it about what your children are doing or what they ain't doing? Is it about what they doing in church, what they ain't doing in church? Where's your level of attention going? What are you focused on in your life? How much of the self audit are you doing yourself? How many times are you looking in the mirror and following what you are doing? How many times are you going over your data and say, you know what, how many times have you reviewed your day? Okay, what did I do today? What conversations did I have? Who did I impact? Or what did I do? What actionary steps was I taking in order to get me closer to my goal? Okay, I say that I want to do acts of service, but did I look for a charity to go and extend my hands with? Did I go or help the person at the after school program? Did I go out there and send a message out there that could hit home for somebody else? Am I steadfast in my belief system where I hit my knees and pray, or am I doing these things to be the example of the message that you want to lead? Am I being the example of the message that I want to leave to the rest of the world? Because we all say we want these things, but the requirement to get it requires work. This is what I was talking about that point earlier when I say, man, I want this. I want this. God, why me? Why not me? And God looking down and saying, oh, you want this thing. How bad do you want it? Are you going to lose sleep for it? Are you going to connect with the right people for it? How about you building yourself up? Are you going to develop your skill sets? Are you going to train? Are you going to practice? Are you going to not eat the cake? No pun intended, mama. I love your cake. I love your cake, mama. I love your cake. I gotta mess with my mom. I gotta mess with her because she gonna mess with me every day. She gonna say something to your boy. She'll get your boy if it's right. My mom goes, she gonna poke fun at me. So I gotta get her on the net. I love my mother unconditionally. We got a great, great, great relationship. And that relationship developed because of time, trusting one another, building on it, building on it. Like any other relationship, you got a pact, you got an oath, you vow to do certain things for one another. There are risks that are involved. They say obedience over sacrifice. So when I do things for my loved ones, I don't look at it like I'm losing something on the back end. When I do things for my mother, when I do things for my brother, when I do things for my sister, when I do things for my companion, when I do things for whoever in my life that I say that I want them to be a part of my life, I don't look at what I do for them as a sacrifice. It's obedience. It's a requirement that I signed up for. And when I talked about perspective, this is what I mean. Before I got aware of how I can look at life and how I can value my relationships, before I could put terminologies to my relationships, I I, I thought of it as I'm losing something. At one point in my life, when people asked things of me, I felt like it was taken away from me, like I was losing something. Because I kept looking at it as a sacrifice instead of obedience, meaning that whether I want to do it or not, this is a requirement for the relationship that we establish. So I do it whether I want to do it or not, because it's obedience over sacrifice. It's obedience over sacrifice. And it took me a long time to learn that, because I know some of the environments that we come from is that, yo, what have you done for me lately? It's always a give and take. It's always, oh, you give me this, I'm gonna take from that. I'm gonna give you this, I'm gonna take from that. And I'm always looking at it as a fair exchange because I don't want nobody to get one up on me. So I'm always looking to up people around me, the ones that are closest to me. Because the only people that's really around you, 9 times out of 10, is mainly your loved ones, your coworkers and stuff like that. The ones you spend the most time with, not really strangers, because you see people in passing during the day, right? There are some people that you come across, like I never seen this person a day in my life in passing, but they don't really affect your life that much, right? In the sense of because you're not paying so much attention to that relationship. So the ones that we do have around us, those relationships that we trying to curate, I think it's best that we have an understanding of what is this relationship about? What are we willing to sacrifice? Where is our obedience at? I mean, what are we there? Where is the obedience at over the sacrifice? What am I willing to do? Where's my energy going? How am I putting this energy in the right place? When we talk about these frequencies, this is what I mean about just being somebody that's really, really observant and your eyes are open when you come to awareness, because our frequencies, our energy is going in a lot of different directions. And if we don't own that, if we don't have autonomy, if we don't look at life from a perspective of there's some work that I can do at all times, and there are things that I don't want to share, don't want to give away, and understand that everybody ain't deserving of all of you at any given time, then you start to understand, okay, you know what? I can give a little bit here when I decide to. I can give some over here when I decide to. Or if we made a pact or we made an oath, understanding that that relationship comes with certain terms, comes with certain level of criteria. When you go and you have a business, your clients ask you for, sign up for, download it, hey, send you a yo look, I put an order in and they still ain't get their order. You're not serving your clients, you're not serving your people. So why would they continue to show up and purchase from you if you ain't fulfill the first order? If your job call you and say, hey, I need you to come into work today, or you are scheduled to work and you neglect your job, I'm not going into work. Do you think that you're a reliable source that they want to, hey, let's keep this person on payroll because they're reliable enough to show up when we need them the most? And ideally they're scheduled to come to work, but choose to neglect it. So why would I count on this person in the near future? Because we're trying to run this business. Everything that we do is a cause and effect. Everything that we do is a cause and effect. Every time we put our energy in any place, every time we do a thing, it's going to result in some type of outcome. And whatever that outcome is, we can't be mad at the world, whether it's in favor of us or not in favor of us. And that doesn't mean that you do the right thing every time, quote unquote, in your eyes, and all of a sudden everything works out. We know life don't work like that. There are different intangibles that we don't see. There are certain things that just happen that, oh, by chance or something. I'm trying to get to work and I left on time, but just so happened there was an accident. Now I'm stuck in traffic and now I end up being late. Things like that happen. So the best way to prepare for that is understand that these are possibilities and do everything in your power to prepare for it. And there's certain things that we can't be prepared for, but we don't sit around and cry over spilled milk. What we do is we pick our big boy pants on and a big girl skirts up, and we say, okay, now let's go out there and prepare ourselves for a better tomorrow. Still go out there and execute. Still go out there and train, because now that is part of your psyche. You can choose to utilize it or choose to throw it away. So now that adds to your preparedness. So when you say, do people show up on time? You always early, man. He or she is always early. They're always ready to do the job, no matter what time of the day it is. They present. They're reliable. You can count on them. That shows and reflect in your character. That's one attribute to the many. But don't understand that accumulated skill sets, they call it skill stacking, right? When you have one skill developed on top of another skill, you can learn math, and then math stacking on top of that skill, you end up learning accounting. And then once you learn accounting, that skill is compounded and stacked on top of another skill will allow you to be a CEO of, or you dealing with some level of finance and banking or something, right? You went from a kid or a student or a person that's good at math that entered into another field of expertise, learn, and that he does accounting, he or she does accounting. And in the midst of them doing accounting, they go on to be into some type of investment firm where you handling all the money on. Because now you build up your skill sets. Everything compounds. That's why that combination work that you do every day is very, very important. Your routines that you do every day is important. Your frequency, very, very important. Who you give your energy to, very, very important, because there's some people that are zapping your energy. There are some people, places, and things that are distracting you. That's the noise. So we need more signal in our life. But the only way we be able to figure out where our signal to noise ratio is at is by doing self audits. How about you uh track your day? Do it for about a week. Write down timestamps. Write down how long things took you to do. Okay, I went to the gym. Normally, the gym only be 45 minutes to an hour. I spending 3 hours in the gym. Okay, a little excessive. So I think I need to scale back on that. So mainly you can go out there and knock that out in an hour, get on to the next. So you have another 2 hours to go lock in. Oh, I missed out. I didn't read today. Okay, I got my book right here. Cool. Let me put time aside instead of taking a 3 hour shower. Let me cut that down to 1 hour and read for an hour. So now we just utilizing our time better. Time management. Time management. But we won't know these things if we don't track what's going on in our lives. So we can start doing some of these things to start figuring out, okay, what am I doing with my time? I have a lot of time on my hands. When I'm talking about what he, she, Joe, Smo, whatever they doing on the internet, why am I tapped into that frequency? How did I get there? Because I was doing the scrolling and I started to kill time instead of utilizing it. Now my energy is zapped into a world that I don't want to be in. Now they got my attention, and I don't have my time or awareness back. Now I'm led astray. I can't focus what's going on in my life because I got so much noise going on, pulling me in every direction. We got to start to center self. Start finding out, okay, well, where's my time? Where my time going? Where's my money going? Where's my energy going? How's my relationships? Are they strong? Are they failing? How am I performing with my business? Is my business going up? Is it going down? Is it stable? Am I neglecting it? What about work? Am I providing? Am I showing up on time? If I'm doing the right things, am I checking in? Am I doing the inventory? Are you fulfilling your obligations? Everything you sign up for has obligations. Run that back. Everything that you sign up for has obligations, meaning that you have to provide some of your energy towards those things, because anything that's left to itself turns to disorder and chaos, atrophies to get smaller, or entropy turns to disorder and chaos. It crumbles and then eventually turn to dust. Poof. So we don't want to sit around and not have things acted upon from an outside force, us being that force, that energy. Whatever we give our energy to, we give life. We want that plant to grow. We got to water the plant. We got to give the plant the proper sunlight. We got to have the right fertilizer in the soil. And we got to repeat the process every day, over and over and over and over again, until it blossoms up to the biggest oak tree you ever seen in your life. Powerful. That's how our mind works. Our mind works in that same type of capacity. What are you putting inside of your mind? What are you thinking about? What are you watching? What frequencies are you tapped into? What are you frequently seeing that got your energy, that got your attention? What are you frequently seeing? That's your frequency. Your frequency is what you frequently see. Are you with me tonight? Send me some love. Send me some emoji chats. Pat yourself on the back. Send thumbs up. Let me know you're in the building tonight. I think it's very, very important that we understand our purpose and our value. You are valued. You are valued. You gotta find that value. You gotta not let other things take you away from your purpose, because there are so many things that are let out there that want to take you away from you being the best version of yourself. And we find out that, man, by next year or the year prior, I should have been such and such place in my life at this particular time. But what were you doing then that led you astray? What were you doing then that led you astray? What are you doing now that's going to lead you to that next level or that jump up in your life for the near future? I can't answer that for you. You know the answer. They say that most of the answers that we're looking for are on the other side of the pillow. Other side of the pillow. Heard this from Christopher Williamson. He heard it from somewhere else, but I heard during his one of his segments on his podcast, he had mentioned that he heard it from somewhere else, and he said that uh the things that we want in our life are directly um embedded in the things that we don't want to do. And it's on the other side of that pillow. A lot of times we avoid the things that we know we need to do because we complacent, we content, We feel like we got all of the answers. I can do it at such and such time, although we know that tomorrow is not promised. So we sit around wasting the time. There's some people out there that wish they had more time. There are some establishments that wish they did the right thing when everything was at the top and he was blossoming, 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 blossoming. Jesus Christ, boy, you got a lot of tongue twisters, you heard? How about it, baby's a boy? Your boy tongue twisted. I talk fast too at times. I gotta learn a ooh, but trial and error. That's what I love. That's what I learned about life, and that's what I love about life is that it's a constant internal battle with oneself. And this is some of the things I love to highlight, and this is why I talk about it so often, even today with the segment. It's because it all boils down to you. We give our power away. That's why we feel powerless. We give our power away. That's why we feel powerless. We let other people, places, and things dictate how we experience life. And then when things don't work out to our favor, we blame everybody in the world except self. But you the one that gave them or that thing the power. And we got to be able to bring power and reinstill power back in oneself. And it all starts with your perception. It's all about perspective. It's all about how you think. It's all about how you program. It's all about how you deprogram. It's about where you placing that energy at, where you going in your life. Have you written down where you want to go? Do you have a plan to get there? Because we always want to wing these things. We feel like I can get there whenever I get there. It's gonna work out. All I need to call on God, and God gonna make it work for me. God don't show up until you do the work. And then there will be certain signs that lead you in certain directions after the fact, after when you put some of that work in. But we the ones that gotta show up every day and keep refining our purpose, keep reshaping, keep building that, becoming the person. My man Charles said you gotta keep chiseling away to get that perfection. You gotta keep chiseling, keep chiseling, keep chiseling. And eventually you get that sculpture that you've been looking for. You get that sculpture that you was looking for. But you got to chisel away, meaning that we got to keep hitting the rock, keep hitting the right, keep hitting the rock, keep hitting the rock till we strike gold. My man Josh showed me the other day. There was it was a picture, pictorial, right? So there was a picture of two men, and they were under earth, and they were digging for gold, right? And the picture goes like this: the gentleman that's on top is further back than the gentleman that's on the bottom. But the gentleman on the bottom got so exhausted, he turns around and walks the other way to walk outside of the tunnel or under the ground. And the premise of the story is that he was only one strike away to getting the gold, even though the other person that was on top was further back. But the difference between the person on the top and the bottom, the person that's on top that's further away never quit. And what it showed me is that in life, you will eventually get where you need to get to. You just can't quit during the process. You can't quit during the process. And that's powerful because I learned in my life when the biggest failures is when I stop. So when I do things in my life, I have no plan on stopping. I don't plan on stopping. There are gonna be some things that come in between that want to stop me. But they can't stop me if I don't give them the power. So if I keep the power within oneself, there's nothing that's going to stop me but me. And I want all of us to have a developed mindset to let you know that there's nothing in the world that's going to be able to stop you but you, unless you give your power away. But we got to bring that power back home. We got to bring that power back home to you. And when you get back inside that house, how about I close this window? Because this window shouldn't be open. Because there's people that's coming through that window. How about let me close that front door? Because you know what? There are some thieves that's looking to come through my door at night. How about I close the basement door and entrapments? Because there's some rodents that's trying to sneak through the basement or through the water pipeline, etc., to try to get inside my house, there's somebody that's trying to get something from you. And I don't mean that you got to walk through life with a side eye looking at everybody as if they the op. What I'm saying is that the signal to noise ratio, we can't pay close attention to what's going on out in the world if we're not protecting home first. We got to protect home first. And home is your mindset, the way you think. You can't give your mind to everybody or everything. You got to have some level of focus that reinstills power within you. Because a lot of things out in this world are taking you away from the best version of yourself. And the process just becomes that much longer, that much harder. One thing I love too, I heard from Myron Golden. He said he never assigns a level of difficulty to things. I think that's one of the most powerful things that I've heard in my life as well. I'm being fully transparent. He never assigns a level of difficulty to when he do things, meaning that most people fail before they even start. Most people fail before they even start because they assign a level of difficulty. This is going to be hard. Understand that if you've never done something before, you've never done this before, you don't know what to expect. But the first thing that we do as human beings is we assign a level of difficulty to it already. Oh, this is going to be hard. Or I know this is going to be difficult. And then once it shows up on your doorstep as a task that you're unfamiliar with, oh, I knew this is going to be hard, and then we quit. I told everybody that this is going to be hard. Then we quit. And then we start putting that displaced failure on other people as well. And then now we got a chain reaction in an environment of people that's just failing because none of us have the belief system that we can achieve. None of us adopted the philosophy that we all can achieve because we failed at the very, very beginning because we assigned a level of difficulty to things. So I learned that stop assigning levels of difficulty to things. Yeah, there will be some things that are challenging because I've never done it before. But what I know, like anything, is like riding a bike. You're gonna fall a couple times. You're gonna scrape the knee. You may even knock your head up. There'll be many things that happen. The littlest pebble may throw you off guard and fling you off the bike. But it's the person that continue to get up on the bike and keep riding is the one that, before you know it, they're not just riding the bike, they doing marathons. And they have no plan on stopping. That's the power that you have. You are great. You are really, really great. We are human beings. We are great. And there's so many things that I know we all have potential to do. I know we all are put here for a purpose, but that purpose is created. We give certain attributes coming out the womb. Some people are taller, some people are shorter, some people have certain strength than other people. Some people have just huge calves that allow them to run or jump or do whatever. Some other people have a great IQ and they just understand certain subject matters to a T. Some people, we watch these children, what they call indigo children, right? And what I look at these children is that uh they're very bright. They have a level of insight. But they call these things ESP, right? Extrasensory perception, right? And they quote unquote, like, we would consider us having abilities as being like superhumans, right? When you think about things, when they say like Einstein and these guys, right? Quote unquote, they said that these individuals use about 10% of their brain, quote unquote, for what we know of, right? 10, 15% of their brain. If we have these people, quote unquote, that we look at in our society as geniuses, and they only using 15%, 20% of their brain, what happens to an individual that know how to use 50% of their brain or use more? What are the things that you are able to amass in your life and able to do when you start tapping into that level of intellect? This is how we have people out there that was able to move objects like the pyramids and doing all these things because they was tapped into a different level of science, different level of architecture, different level of building. different skill sets. They was able to use different parts of their mind. Some things that we missed out on because we're not doing the things to enhance the mind, to enhance the body, to enhance the way we think. And it all is rooted in how we treat ourselves, treat our bodies, what we put inside our minds, what we put inside our bodies, how we eat, how we program, the psychology we carry, the ideas that we come up with, who we share the ideas with. There are programs and people that are doing things to limit that because they don't want so many people out there in the world that are innovative individuals that's thinking on those type of levels. Because then what happens when we have a whole bunch of thinkers? Then no longer could you be a cog in the system. No longer are you just going to be on the string like the puppet. So right now we just got people that go along to get along, which I was once. Sorry, loved ones. I have 2 comments on TikTok. Let me see if I can read it really, really quick. I got some captions. Let me see. It says, it ended itself. I ended it. Oh, they did it on their own. Sorry for the live. Big, I had comments on it live, but I missed out on the comments. I didn't see them. But shout out to whoever left comments. You know, it's nothing but unlimited love and blessings. I appreciate your contribution, showing up in real time, and sharing your thoughts and your perspectives because it allow us to get different viewpoints and allow us to go out there and execute. Because now we have more data, so we can test these things in real time and see how it applies. And that's the beauty of us just sharing our minds. I encourage us sharing how we feel and adding to our conversations because it makes us it challenges us to see things from different perspectives. And I think that's the beauty in us learning and growing. Sometimes you know how to do a thing one way, but now understand they say there are many ways to skin the cat. And this is not, we got very, very sensitive with these subjects online because people say animal cruelty. We're not talking about literally skin the cat, meaning that we're using the analogy of there are many ways to do one thing, right? There are many, many ways to do one thing. There's not one way to play this game. We can look at sports for that matter. We can look at individuals. I use Steph Curry and LeBron James all the time. Steph Curry has a game that's, developed him to be one of the greatest shooters of our time and maybe NBA history yet to this date, right? As a shooter. And he's very, very skilled at what he does and how he plays the game. But the way he plays the game is very, very different than how LeBron James plays the game. Meaning that LeBron is not as efficient at shooting as Steph Curry is, but he has physical attributes that allow him to get to the rim and be able to score. Where his stature alone separates him from different styles of players, such as Steph Curry himself. So what I'm saying is that everybody is set is everybody is given a set of tools that we can sharpen and learn how to develop and make these things work to our best and greater good. But when we start being out of purpose and start trying to be a apple tree, knowing that we are a orange tree, an orange that we bear oranges. When you try to get out of your element and be somebody that you're not, this is where we get led astray. And this is what I mean about utilizing what you already have and become that person. Just keep refining it, keep developing skill sets because you'll be so amazed at what you're gonna become because nobody told you how great you can be. But that belief system got to start within oneself. We got to get around environments that encourage that. We got to get around um, thinking around how great we can be, not be so reliant on other people. Although these things can help and aid, but we got to start shaping and finding ways to influence our mind for the better, of putting some of that power back in you and not being so codependent on the system or society or other people. They say agency. Agency is a great, great quality that I would love to teach my loved ones continuously, definitely the children that's in my life and my children that's going to become in the future and thereafter. Having agency, being able to make a decision. I think that is so powerful, being able to make a decision. A lot of times we so relying on other people's minds and other people's decision making. And when people are making decisions that's best for them, by chance it could work for you, or it may not work for you. And who's to determine that? We're just gonna sit back and rely on other people's judgment. And I think we do ourselves a huge disservice, because somebody may go down the path of going to the left, and your path is really leading more towards the right. So you following the left path because somebody else, you're relying on their decision making instead of your own. And then when we end up down that road, like, man, I'm supposed to make that right turn right here. And now you detoured for a couple years in your life trying to get back on track. That's what happened to me. I made a left turn, and a couple years of my life was detoured to get me back on the right track to be purposeful, and in my life to be purposeful, because I know my calling really wasn't in dysfunction. Although I done some dysfunctional things, my calling isn't in the dysfunction. It's more or less of being somebody that's thought provoking, purpose driven, intentionally doing things intentionally, not just relying on the judgment of other people. Because I know that I did a lot of time of studying who I am, and I have a lot of questions in life. Why is this? Why that? Why is this? Why that? And I'm looking for the answers. But a lot of times we gotta look internally for some of these answers first, because now we have a higher probability to have a higher quality answer, or lead us more down the path of finding the right answer more or less than the wrong, if we start pouring more and using our better judgment. If we start co-signing things that we know are wrong because we are people pleasing, you're not being purposeful. You're not being purpose driven. We're being a follower of the wrong things, being a follower of dysfunction, being a follower of the wrong frequency. Now we have displaced energy, and then we keep trying to figure out. I just can't get on track. You put all your energy into the wrong things. I just want to be a constant reminder in my life, and being able to help and aid in any way that I can, just to have perspective about knowing that your choice is always yours. I want to remind us all the time, every day, that we have choices that we can make every day. And we got to be the ones to make them. We can't be afraid to make them. The requirement for you to get truth is by making these decisions. Some decisions is going to lead you to the next one, although it feels wrong in the time, like during when you're doing it. I don't think this was the best decision, but ultimately it will be, because now even you making that wrong decision at that moment, that's the data for you to take for the next decision. For the next decision, say, you know what? Hey, I made that last decision. We don't want to do that no more. Now I got a comparison. Now I know what not to do. So when the next decision come up, I know not to do what I done previously. Those small little things has been helping me through my life. I'm telling you, I've gone through some things internally here, constantly second guessing myself, because I just wanted to keep up with the Joneses. What is he or she going to think? Nah, I got to remove some of that pride and that ego, remove some of it, and go on a real deep search of self. Go on a deep search of self, and it's a daily task. I wake up every day looking to say, how do I get more familiar with me? Every day I wake up and figure out, how do I get more familiar with me? There are times where I started to learn I need a break. There are times where I just need my own peace of mind, where I do things to make sure I get that throughout the day. It is nothing towards anybody or any place or anything. I started to say, you know what? There are times where in the heat, sometimes when the heat, they say, get out the kitchen. Oh, I'm a firm believer that sometimes I got to get out the kitchen. I can't stand there with too much heat. Not saying that I'm not built for heat. What I'm saying is that there's certain times in my life where I know I work better under certain conditions. So I create the space and the environment for me to exercise that. Okay, you know what? In order for me to have a progressive day, I need to have that combination in the morning of reading every day, going to the gym in the morning, doing my prayer. Those are three things mandatory I get out every day: prayer, gym, some level of reading material. And I'm about to adopt another way on approaching even reading, from hearing it from someone that I watch and I study, and I like how they think, and there's methods to how they do things, because there's always systems. So I'm following the track record of the system and say, you know what, let me apply this and see how it works for me. It may work, it may not work. I think it can be very, very effective. I think it'll open up my mind to different things that I had closed before. And that's what I'm seeking. I'm seeking that challenge to become the best version of myself. So there are gonna be some things that I do that's going to be uncomfortable. But I look for that challenge because I know ultimately that will be the data that I could take to me for the next decision making that I need to make in my life. And I can say that this may work or this may not work. But now I got the data to test this theory, to test this psychology, to test um this belief system. And let me see if it works. Oh, this is a different way to study. I never studied like that before because I never approached it. I never knew that that study method existed. So let me study like this now and see how that works for me. I'm seeking that because I know on the other side of it is going to be refinement of who I am as a person, because I'm going to continuously become the person that can do the thing, and now it could be purpose driven. Now it could be purpose driven. And I encourage you to figure out who you are every day. Get more familiar with you. Know your likes, know your dislikes, know your triggers, know what brings you some harm, know what things that bring you peace. Um, get more familiar with intrinsic things and not so much caught up in the materialistic, because we know that at any given moment the materialistic things can go, but you take you everywhere you go. The materialism, anybody can take the materialism things away from you, but you take you everywhere you go. You take you everywhere that you go. Keep building on that. Keep loving yourself. Keep trusting yourself. Keep looking in the mirror and building that up, because you got the power to do so. You got the power to do so. Man, I had such fun today. It was a beautiful, beautiful episode, a 34th episode. I'm super proud, super ecstatic. I hope this conversation added to you who you are. Man, I had so many comments on I was on I was on another frequency. But shout out to uh Affordable Car Rentals, Quay, my man Burton, my boy Bones, Uli, Ellie. Stay true to yourself. Comment, big love. Yeah, it's my brother Uli. Stay true to yourself, Big Fendi. Ellie said it also shows respect, Big Fendi family. You have to learn how to define and focus on what is adding and taking away to the life you are looking to have. Absolutely, sis. My brother Corin tapped in and said needed this message. Man, we needed each other. We needed each other on this one, family. We needed each other. Shout out to my brother Corin. Ellie says, you keep poking at that bag, it's going to burst. Big Finny, sis. You keep poking at that bag, Ellie, that thing's going to burst. That money on coming. Absolutely. When you're there, I said, when there are obstacles, change the path, not the goal. Ooh. Ooh, sis. Ellie says, when there are obstacles, change the path, not the goal. Mm. Ooh, cool. Man, oh, my cousin in the building. Anna's in the building. What's up, loved one? Congratulations on the bringing in that new baby, cuz. Add another one to the family. Man, it's powerful. I missed all the comments. Your boy was on another. See, I had so many platforms going on. I was over there on StreamYard. They had the TikTok going, Instagram. I'm missing some of the comments, but all we know that I love you guys unconditionally, and you guys allow me to be myself, and I commend that, because you said get around people that love you enough to tell you the truth, and I know that here in the space that we are in, all of you are my loved ones, and you guys are always willing to pull me by the coattail when I'm out of pocket, and I know that um when I'm doing the right thing, you guys commend me on that as well. But it's a circle of trusted advisors when I trust you guys, because you guys give me that same feedback, and you know that I'm willing to show up in the same form and fashion to make sure that I'll be the best version of myself, and you allow me to do that. You guys help me to do that, and hopefully that we provide the platform that we all can learn and grow and just flourish and be um great individuals in this world that we in, right? I want us to be the best. I want the best for us. I want the most prosperous. I want the most everything that we can ask life for. I know that we have the potential to go out there and execute and get that. And I commend you all for doing that for the God. Um, Bone said, "Whoever has your ear has your future." Bro. Whoo-hoo. Whoever has your ear has your future. That is a Fendi, loved one. That is a Fendi, family. Oh man, what better way to end it out like that? Unlimited love. Whoever has your ear has your future. We are signing out on that. That's oh man, that's powerful. We'll be back at it next week, 7 p.m. on the Respectfully Great podcast. I love you all. Love yourself even more. And go out there and be purpose driven. Go out there, keep reshaping, remolding, and redesigning who you are, because you are gifted. Don't never let nobody take away your value. We can find value in everything that we do, and people will try to strip us away from that. Don't let nobody do that, because we dealt with that for too long. We kept letting people in that ear. We kept letting too many people in that ear, the wrong people in that ear, and they threw us off guard. We ain't doing that no more. My brother Bone said, "Whoever has your ear has your future." Ah, we signing out off that one, respectfully.